Hi, everybody. It is July the 1st. Wow. Can't believe we're in July. Um, and in looking for God today in my life, I am going through Ephesians in the scriptures, and Ephesians 6 1 through 4 kind of caught me because it's really kind of where I live. It is all about parents and children. um, Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise, that it may go well with you and that you may live long in the land. Fathers, do not provoke your children into anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. You know, parenting is a very personal thing. And when people try to tell you what to do, you kind of can get a little bit like, "Mm." I used to be quite the extrovert until I became a parent, and then I really, not that I was judgy, but sometimes being around parents who don't have your parenting style can be a little stressful. And so it's good to go back to what did God say about being a parent? Um, Children, obey your parents. You know what? That to me is one of the things that kind of gets a little lax on some parents. It amazed me sometimes, going to like teacher conferences or picking my kids up at somebody else's house. Like, your kids are so good. They listen so well. They better. It's like, no, 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 no. You listen when an adult talks to you, you respect that adult. And sometimes people don't do that. Um, Honor your mother and your father. That would be another thing. I can even remember a mom who's having a tete-a-tete with her child, and he basically said, "I hate you," and I was like, and she said, and I'm like, he's up the stairs or whatever, and she's like ignoring it. And I'm like, "Are you gonna say anything to that?" She goes, "Oh, you got to pick your battles." I'm like, "That's a battle." Oh my goodness. It's like, oh my. It's like between the misuse of the word hate and the respect issue, I was just like, what are you going to do when they're 15 and this is the foundation that you've laid? So these are good things because not that my children are perfect by any stretch, they are not. But with these ideas, my kids have grown up pretty respectful, and I don't have to put as much into them discipline wise now because I front loaded that stuff. And it was a lot. It wasn't easy. When you're telling a 3-year-old, and I'm telling you, three is when parents lose control because kids are so smart and they know every button to push. And when you're with them every day, it is not easy. But if you do it then, they're going to grow up and it'll be so much easier. Um, So I've listened to this. I can remember reading this before I had kids, during the time that I've had kids, and now where I'm kind of on the other end of it. I have teenagers, and teenagers can be snarky, but you can still give them that excuse me. And they're like, oh, I mean, that's right, because you honor your mother and you obey them because that is what you've taught them to do. And so I thank God for that. Good instruction from God is always worth taking. It may seem like a lot at the beginning, front loading, making sure you're consistent, but the rewards are so, so great because now, I can actually have a great relationship with my boys because now we're not fighting all the time because we already know the rules. Thanks for that, God. So I found God in the scriptures, of course, but in the discipline from when my babies were little, because they will grow up in the way that they have learned. And if you taught them to disregard you earlier, they're going to do that now. And it's really hard to make up. You can, but it's doubly hard now. So If you're young out there with young kids, stick with it. God's going to be with you. You just have to be consistent.